It's Thanksgiving week, and we're going to tell you the perfect beer to pair with your turkey, your sweet potatoes, your pumpkin pie.
Well, I'm not certain if it's going to be this green beer, but we're going to give it a try anyway.
Ugh. He's Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at the Ship Bottom Beer Garden at Wake Coffee in Ambler for this edition of What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. We are open. Travel responsibly. Follow the Bucks County Ale Trail. Go to visitbuckscounty.com/ale trail to get your passport. By the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia. 5 counties, 90+ breweries, and 1,000+ craft beers. And by Conshohocken Brewing Company, now shipping beer to all of Pennsylvania at ConchiExpress.com.
This holiday season, where will you find yourself? Celebrating tradition or crafting your own? From awakening awe to igniting the night. Spend the holidays in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Hey, welcome to What's Brewing. He's Joe Sixpack, Noted Beer Authority. I'm Glen Macnow. I just like to drink beer. We're at the Ship Bottom Beer Garden. What a great place, Joe. Wake Coffee in Ambler, Montgomery County.
Conveniently located across the street from the Ambler train station, so in the morning, perfect stop, I think.
There you go. We got a lot to discuss on this episode. First of all, everybody in advance, happy Thanksgiving. It's a rough year. We hope yours is as festive as it can be. We always start with our beer swap, and given that the cold weather's coming up, dark lagers today. What did you pour me here?
Yeah, I just thought we don't really do very much with dark lagers, partly because not everybody makes them, but that's clearly a dark beer. This is Levante the Good Schatz.
I'm sorry.
Schatz is
I don't know that I really think that's a good...
It's a term of endearment in German-speaking countries. It means treasure, so it's the Good Schatz.
I don't know that I would have gone with that marketing ploy, but... Oh, no. Ooh.
Not into that?
No, it's really weak.
Well, that's because it's not a stout. It's just a lager that happens to be dark with a little bit of biscuity. I actually like it because it's got a little. I mean, it is light-bodied, but it's what 4.8%. So you could drink more than one of these.
All right. Well, the one I gave you is local. In fact, it's even less than 4.8%. It's 4.2. The Neshaminy Creek Hidden Champion Black Lager. I've always liked Neshaminy Creek. I've always liked their can designs too. I'll drink it right out of the bottle. Can.
Okay.
Here you go.
Cheers.
Much better to me. I get more of a body. I get a taste out of it.
You get more body out of it?
Yeah.
I like it too. It's, black lager is even more rare than just a sort of an amber dark lager because, it really almost, it truly does. This is as dark as, say, Guinness Stout, but it's nowhere near, it's not an ale for one thing, it's a lager.
I'll read you what they say in their promotion. It says, a traditional German-style black lager, Hidden Champion, has a rich aroma of toasted bread, nuts, and toffee. Yeah, I guess I get that.
Yeah.
Medium light-bodied with complex malt flavors, a restrained chocolate note, finishing crisp and dry. It's okay. I don't love it. It's okay. And, you mentioned that they don't sell that well. I went to my beer store in Ardmore, and this is the only dark lager they had in the entire store.
Well, it's funny. If you talk to brewers, they love this style of beer because it's something they can drink more of one of, but they will also tell you that they can't sell them because everybody's so fixated on IPAs, and when they see dark, they want something really strong.
Yeah. Now, as you can see, as we're saying, dark, really dark. It's funny, when I see dark, I think it's gonna have more taste, gonna be more complex, gonna be, well, I guess a stout. We have an array of beers in front of us that our friend Robert Zarco here at Ship Bottom poured for us, and as you can see, from straw yellow to dark brown. Oh, Joe Sixpack, wise one, what gives beer its different color?
Well, there's a number of things. Number one is the malt and what you've done with the malt. The darker the malt, the more the dark malt, the darker it's going to be. But I think what's really important here so much is not how it gets that color, but what that tells us as beer drinkers. Because we always talk about the flavor of beer, the aroma of beer, but the color of the beer is also a signal as to what type of beer we're going to be drinking. But it will tell you one thing, and that is that there should be a flavor of toasted or roasted malt within that beer, because that's what they're using. So, you know, we started off the show, by the way,
what is this?
With this green beer.
Yeah.
This is made by Ship Bottom. It's their Ecto Gooler, made for Halloween.
Okay.
I've seen a couple of these unusual colored beers, and this one is actually made with.
It's a tribute to Ghostbusters, I guess.
I guess, but it's
oh
it's
my,
made with.
it looks like bad Gatorade.
It's made with Gushers, those candies that kids.
Oh gosh, yeah, sure.
So but the flavor on it, and I've already tasted it, is you're going to get a lot of fruit out of it.
Okay, yes. See, if I closed my eyes and didn't know I'm drinking, you know, auto fluid, I would think.
Your radiator, your antifreeze, right?
Yeah, it's a fruity IPA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
They've been doing.
They're very clever here, I got to tell you.
I know. Well, you know, we got a green.
Wait,
beer
there's
from them.
more?
Yes, this actually came out for Shark Week. This is their bucket of chum made with Swedish goldfish.
Oh, I'm sure this sells well at their Jersey Shore place.
And
Oh.
it is I poured a little too much head there, but it's basically a reddish pink beer there.
Blood in the water, shark in the water, you're going in the water.
These beers have been influenced by candy additions and so on, but the standard beers that aren't made with candy, the beer color is generally coming from the malt and also the way that the beer has been mashed in, the way you steep the grains, and also the filtering that goes on with the beer.
I got to tell you, better than I thought.
Good.
You know, it's not bad. All right, coming up next, everybody knows about Black Friday, but do you know about Blackout Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving, the biggest drinking day of the year? We're going to tell you about that and more from Ship Bottom Beer Garden at Wake Coffee in Ambler. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow. What's brewing? Hey everybody, it's cold outside and that means it's the winter beer season. Head to any Conshohocken Brewing Company location or local beer retailer for Conshohocken Brewing's seasonal lineup. We've got 2-hour delay, hazy winter IPA, Mr. Robusto, a robust porter, and 2-time World Beer Cup Award winner Puddler's Row ESB. Those and our others are sure to ring the bell this winter season. That's Conshohocken Brewing Company. Cheers. Welcome back to What's Brewing with Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We're here at the Ship Bottom Beer Garden at Wake Coffee in Ambler. And Joe Sixpack, these guys, they've done it again. We were at their place, their beer garden in Linvilla. We've been down the shore. They really know how to make a great environment and they know how to make great beer.
Yeah, this is the local stout. It's made with coffee beans from Wake Coffee and aged in Dad Hat barrels. So,
ooh. Well, that's got body. This is a dark beer that definitely has got some heft to it. All right. Everybody knows about the Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, which is Black Friday, but we're going to talk about what is now known as Blackout Wednesday, which is the night before Thanksgiving, the biggest beer drinking day of the year. Kind of began as a college student thing, right? You probably
biggest day of the year. That's bigger than the Super Bowl, bigger than
I'll give you 2, 3, 4, 5. It's number 1. Number 2, Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Number 3, New Year's Eve. Number 4, St. Patrick's Day.
Really?
This is number 1.
That's amazing.
Well, it is, but it isn't, because, I mean, I remember when I was in college and I'd go back home to where I grew up, you'd meet up with your friends and you'd go out and drink, okay? Everybody's home for Thanksgiving. Nobody wants to cook the night before Thanksgiving or entertain the night before Thanksgiving. So that's another reason you go out. And also, Thanksgiving dinner is a great hangover cure. It is also, allow me to tell you, the biggest drunk driving night of the year. Police everywhere are really on alert. And they've done a great job now of trying to persuade people, like, be smart if you're going to drink. I want to read you this one. This is the social media from the Dixon, Illinois police. This was from last year. They said, partaking in Blackout Wednesday and wondering if you drank too much, ask yourself the question, is stuffing the best part of Thanksgiving? If you answered yes, you're drunk, call a cab.
That's great public
I thought that's
service.
pretty good. Anyway, that's the #1 drinking day of the year. Let's talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving stuff. Friendsgiving beer, what is that going on?
Well, that's a collaborative beer that was spearheaded by Double Nickel over in Pennsauken, and it's their in-house charity called Collaborate, which is a good name, in which they brought it Cape May Brewing, Tonewood Brewing, Urban Village in Philly, and Source Brewing of Colts Neck in Jersey, and together they made this beer in which they are basically combining all the ingredients, and then the charity, or the sales, go to charity. In this case, it's some food banks and other agencies throughout the Philadelphia and South Jersey area.
Very nice, very admirable. All right, we got about 2 minutes left here, and this is a very important part of the show. We did this last year, and I think people really appreciated it. Thanksgiving dinner, it used to be wine, but I really have gone more to beer, and you gave a great primer last year on they don't make Thanksgiving beers. We've talked about that.
It's weird.
There's Halloween beers, Oktoberfest beers,
Yeah.
Christmas ales, everything. There's not a Thanksgiving one. So, Joe Sixpack, a wise one. What do we drink on Thanksgiving?
Well, I say this every year, that you can't go wrong with a good Saison because it matches with everything. It won't overwhelm flavors, and it also complements other things, including that big sort of greasy turkey, or even the sweet potatoes.
Greasy turkey?
Well,
who's doing your cooking?
Anyway, but Saisons are a little bit hard to get a hold of, so I'm going to point you to 2 other types of beer. One is a Märzen, or an Oktoberfest beer. If they're still available at this time of the year, and they are sort of dwindling on the shelves, but if you can grab one of those, I think it's a great beer to have, or style to have, because it pairs so well with other food.
I bought up I bought like 3 cases of the Fest beer. Conshohocken Brewing Company stored those up. They'll still be good.
Good move. And Workhorse and Cape May and Neshaminy Creek we had earlier, they all make very nice Fest beers. And then finally, my other one is a good Pilsner. And I don't mean a crappy thing that you could find in the discount shelves. I mean a good local Pilsner that's made with lots of hops. I think the folks here at Ship Bottom have one, their Surf Check. And the one I would really point to is Human Robot is making an amazing one. I don't know if they're canning it yet, but getting it on, if you can get a growler there, Human Robot in Kensington, worth a trip.
So all the way from the sweet potatoes through the turkey, through the pumpkin pie, right? Any part of Thanksgiving you don't like? Any of the foods you don't like?
The foods.
One for me. Of the foods. I'm not talking about hanging with your Uncle Joe.
I got to say, I like them all, but I am a sucker for those green beans and the mushrooms.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We're going to be doing a thing on the show coming up one of these days on beer food collaborations. Beer with green bean casserole would be the biggest disaster ever. I don't like the cranberry sauce. Other than that, I like everything else. So there you go. All right, coming up, there's another great thing about Thanksgiving. They play NFL football on it. If you plan to bet the games, you don't want to leave, because Joe Sixpack and I are going to pick those games based on which cities have better beers. Why not? Coming up next, what's brewing from Ship Bottom and Ambler, Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow.
This holiday season, where will you find yourself? Celebrating tradition or crafting your own? From awakening awe to igniting the night. Spend the holidays in Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Welcome back to What's Brewing. I'm Glen Macnow with my pal Joe Sixpack. We're at the Ship Bottom Beer Garden at Wake Coffee in Ambler on a beautiful night, drinking some beer. Thanksgiving is coming up. We already talked about the food and the beer. We get NFL football. 3 games.
That's amazing. I mean, what else? Why bother having any Thanksgiving festivities? You can just sit down and watch
3
football.
games. It is going to be fun, and we decided, well, we're not picking the games per se, but we're going to choose who's going to win the game based on the quality of beer from the cities that have the games.
That's right.
All
It's a good way as any, I think, to pick your
Why
winners.
not? All right, so the first game of the day is the disappointing Houston Texans at the Detroit Lions from Houston. Well, it's not exactly Houston. Shiner Bach, which is from Shiner, Texas.
Shiner,
right?
Texas. It's close to Houston by Texas standards, I think.
Okay, and this is it's kind of a nationally available
That's been around
early
for
craft
years.
beer, right?
Yeah, semi-craft. It's the old brewery, Spetzel Brewery, and they make a lot of varieties now too. But this Bach is the one everybody knows.
Okay, Detroit is a great city, a big city. I lived in Detroit. Not known for its beer.
Well, Stroh's. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we used to drink Stroh's back in the day.
Not made there any longer, unfortunately.
I know. But what we found was Liplock Cherry Stout by Atwater Brewing. I don't know what this is. I don't know that I'm going to like it. Who's got the better beer?
I think people will find that they like the Shiner Bach, but I'm a big fan of Atwater, so this is a pick 'em.
I'm betting on the Texans.
Okay.
All right, secondly, we'll go to the night game first. Good game. The Ravens versus the Steelers, big AFC South divisional, AFC North, whatever, divisional game, 2 division rivals, and here's what we've got. I got from Pittsburgh, and I love this can, Helltown Buffy Hazy IPA. It's a beaut.
It is. Actually, and now available in the Philly area, even though we don't get a whole lot of Pittsburgh beers, that one is around here.
And this does not seem to fit to me, a town like Baltimore, tough team like the Ravens. It is Stillwater. This is a dry rice-infused beer.
Stillwater's a very, very good brewery.
It may be, but this is the only beer
no,
I
it's
had
not,
from them, and this does
it's
not.
not
Does
a
this say
football beer.
football to you? Does this
No,
say,
no,
okay.
it does not.
So
I think we got to go with Helltown.
Go with the Steelers on that one.
Yeah.
All right. The other game, the game that's going to be exactly when I'm eating my Thanksgiving dinner, unfortunately, as it always is, involves the Dallas Cowboys. There you go. They are playing the Washington.
The Washington football team.
Yeah, it's just Washington, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what do you got from D.C.?
Well, from D.C. we have D.C. Brow on the wings of Armageddon. This is an Imperial IPA.
Ooh.
D.C. Brow makes a lot of good beers, very good. And you know, here's the problem with picking a beer for Dallas. They don't make really good beer in Dallas, I'm sorry to say.
That makes sense.
And the other problem is, who in Philadelphia is going to drink a Dallas beer?
No.
So I recommend drinking this from Flying Fish. Go Birds, Pale Ale.
All right, apparently we're going for Washington in that one. All right, we started up our beer bracket this year. Always fun, and by the way, we are at the home. You actually have last year's winner.
Yes, this is the Mexican Stout from Ship Bottom. We both love this beer. Lots of flavor going on in this beer. Highly recommended.
All right, so 2 matchups this year. We're doing easy to find craft beers, kind of nationally known craft beers, because we wanted everybody to get a chance to do them. Our first bracket is the Independents.
Yeah, true independent breweries, not owned by somebody else. In this case, we had Deschutes out in Oregon matched up with their Black Butte, one of the great beers out there, but it fell to, and a surprise to me, to Great Lakes Dortmunder. Just to edge them out.
Great Lakes makes terrific.
They do.
Edmund Fitzgerald. I mean, I've had a lot of their beers, and I like their beers.
The Dortmunder's a really nice basic lager. Interestingly, it was made and designed by the former brewer at Schmidt's Brewing when they had a place out in Cleveland.
How about that?
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Second of all, kind of globally owned conglomerate craft beers now.
Right, and this one pitted Anchor Steam. People may not realize that they're owned by Sapporo these days. Anchor Steam, one of the classic craft brews. It may have been, you could even call it the godfather of every single other craft beer out there.
It's Maytag, man.
Yeah, and that went up against Lagunitas IPA, which is a very nice California.
I like both of those.
Well, the
matchup.
Lagunitas did win, and I think it's because so many people are grooving to IPAs these days, they've forgotten how good that steam beer is.
All right, we have exactly 1 minute minute to go. The GABF took place. Not a lot of local winners, but some.
No, not. And this is the one I wanted to mention of all of them. It's right in Philadelphia from Attic Brewing. Their very first year brewing, they won a silver medal for their Bloodhound Brown Ale. It's a great tribute.
For them.
First year brewing. It's amazing. The other locals included, well, not locals, really, Wallen Paulpacks all the way up into Poconos. They won a silver for their English mild. Oryx, which I think we've talked about before, because they make gluten-free beer, which we weren't really into that much.
Well, hey, listen.
They won a gold for their gluten-free
them.
IPA. And finally, Kane Brewing, which is a huge favorite of a lot of our brewers, a lot of our viewers and over in Jersey. They won a gold for their wood and barrel-aged, or their wood-aged strong beer, A Night to End All Dawns.
Congratulations to all of them. I know this year's GABF was kind of distant, kind of different.
Yeah, it was online and it was weird judging and such, but they did get through it, and you know, it's still a medal.
Hopefully next year we all get to do this together. We are together, and we are at Ship Bottom in Ambler. Coming up, we're going to talk to Robert Zarco. He's the genius behind all of this on What's Brewing.
They're not just familiar faces. They're your friends and neighbors. It's their small businesses, a beating heart that makes a neighborhood a home. The places with a pick-me-up, or a story that inspires, where you can share a taste of comfort with a personal touch that makes our world shine a little brighter. Support small and make a big difference. Make it local. Make it Main Street. Make it Montco.
Welcome back to What's Brewing with Joe Sixpack. I'm Glen Macnow. We're at the Ship Bottom Beer Garden in Ambler, Montgomery County, part of the Valley Forge Tourism Bureau. A lot going on out this way, Joe Sixpack.
Ambler is such a cool town, very walkable, lots of great restaurants, and 3 other breweries here.
I think that's great. I got everything I need here with my Ship Bottom Hop and Hazy IPA. Robert Zarco runs this place. Always nice to see you. You've done it. You've done it again.
Thank you.
This is our 3rd of your places that we've been to, or the 3rd of your places, and they're all terrific. We talked about Thanksgiving, and you prepared for Thanksgiving with a special brew.
Yeah, we did a sweet potato casserole ale. We saw that done at Funky Buddha. We thought it was pretty cool. So we brewed that a couple weeks ago. The smell in the brewery was incredible. I'm waiting for this beer to finish. You'll have it available right around now, so it'll be ready to go.
Terrific.
Ready to buy 16-ounce cans. But we use 60 pounds of sweet potatoes, 50 pound of marshmallow, a couple 100 pound of brown sugar, so it's going to come together really well.
Yeah, we had that beer with the hot sauce right on the can. I think this beer calls for a
Stick a pumpkin pie in there?
a sticky marshmallow sitting on
there. There you go. Oh, you know what? A little fluffernutter.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, Robert, let's talk about some of the other things that are going on. You got a collaboration stout, right, with, what is it, Bond Place? Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, Bond Place Brewery out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. We're doing a beer with them. They came down to our place. We're doing a Fudgy Wudgy Stout. So if you're familiar with our brewery in Beach Haven, New Jersey, right underneath us we have Country Kettle Fudge.
Sure.
So we're using 40 pounds of their fudge, 20 pounds of caramel sauce, and some sea salt from the bay. Blending that all together, that'll be available on Black Friday.
And I know you've got another collaboration going on with Windbridge you can tell us about, but what is it with the collaboration beers for you?
Collaborations, we're starting to do more and more of those because we're trying to get into different markets. We're starting our ship bar beers statewide in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, and hopefully soon nationally. So more collaborations is getting us out with familiar names like Woodridge, so that when people see our names in there, and then some of these other beers like Hopper and Hazy and the Shack or the local stout, they'll see that advertised and they'll go on our website and order those from there.
All right, it's been a tough year for everybody in this business and in every business, and I'm sure it's impacted you. In fact, what you did at the beginning was just kind of brilliant. I mean, it was a survival thing, but talk about how you decided to sell beer at the beginning.
Yeah, so when COVID first hit, we got the state of New Jersey to say we could sell beer curbside only and delivery, and I thought, hey, that's great. But then I realized we're on a deserted island in the wintertime and nobody's coming down, so I wasn't selling anything. I start seeing other breweries thanking their customers for coming and picking up curbside or doing deliveries, and I didn't know what to do. So one day I was on my couch at home in Philadelphia and basically said to my wife, hey, I'm going to go outside and sell from the garage.
That's curbside.
Because the original brewery is basically in my garage. Next thing I know, it worked out well. We did it a lot of times during the spring. It worked out well for us where people would come. Actually, one day I dropped down and cried because it was amazing how the support of people helped keep my business alive in times
line
like
of traffic
this.
coming down the street and right to your driveway. That must have been like that Field of Dreams feel of
it was
cars
cool.
lined up.
Yeah,
there.
it was very
So,
cool, and there was cars on both sides. The cops would come down the street to make sure everybody was social distance. Everybody was, and we would sell beers for 4 hours and sell out every time we did it.
I know you've also started delivery, right? Home delivery?
Yeah, so we started home delivery. That was in Pennsylvania, more Delaware County. We're going to branch out, like I discussed before, going statewide in Pennsylvania, and then the state of New Jersey. From there, we'll go nationwide and do different locations.
It is a really tough time to be doing this. We know that beer drinkers are supporting breweries. What else could people be doing, including our state governments, be doing to help along small businesses such as yours?
Well, I know with the state of Pennsylvania, they just lobbied to remove the liquor license fees for breweries and for liquor licenses. That really helps. States could help us by putting laws in place. I know in New Jersey, we're allowed to open 25% now. We didn't do that because we want to keep our staff and our customers safe, so we're only outside at this point. The state's allowing us to open outside more. We got to figure out ways to make that work.
February is going to be tough for all of us, yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. So, that's why we have a spot like this in Ambler. So when we're in February down beach and nobody's coming down here, we have a spot that we could do special releases. People could go inside the coffee shop, drink our beers, drink coffees, and enjoy themselves.
You were talking about down in Jersey that you had set up outside. You had to actually get permission to be able to open up the beer garden across an actual street from the brewery onto some open space there. But you had to put up your own tent for that?
Yeah, so that was a little different for us because a lot of breweries, they have outside spaces connected to their brewery. We didn't have that. So with ABC law, you're not allowed to jump a road to use your liquor license. So we really had to fight to get that in place. The town was nice enough to let us use the field. It's their field. So we set up a tent with heaters in there for the winter. So it's working out well for us.
Well, Robert Zarco, I got to tell you, we're big fans of Ship Bottom. Your beers are terrific. This place here in Ambler is terrific. And let's hope that it's 61 degrees every day through the winter so that we can all
global
just
warming.
sit here
I'm
and
all for it. Thank
Hey,
you
you
so
know what?
much.
We enjoyed it so much today.
Thank you.
We're coming back next week.
Thank you.
Same spot, new topics. You'll love it. Joe Sixpack, Glen Macnow. Thanks for watching What's Brewing.
What's Brewing is brought to you in part by Monco Makers, powered by the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. Download the app. By Visit Bucks County. We are open. Travel responsibly. Follow the Bucks County Ale Trail. Go to visitbuckscounty.com/ale trail to get your passport. By the Craft Beer Trail of Greater Philadelphia, 5 counties, 90+ breweries, and 1,000+ craft beers. And by Conshohocken Brewing Company, now shipping beer to all of Pennsylvania at ConchiExpress.com.